So what is RUF International and why? RUF International is an organization that focuses on ministering to and sharing the good news of Christ for international students. It actually exists underneath the main RUF umbrella, but they mainly allow us to reach out to undergraduate students, master's students, PhD students, gives us the ability to extend hospitality to them in the name of Christ. And really, we want to be able to help them regardless of whether they want to know about Christ or not. There's no strings attached. We simply want to love them. And the hope is that we would be able to witness to them and give them a genuine encounter of Christ during their time studying here in the States. So why did we pick RUF International? Reagan had been a big advocate for me to consider RUF for a long time, but really I never thought that I was ready for it. It really, when she brought it up, it was only about a year since we had left Thailand. We were still trying to discern what God was calling us to do here in Orange County, and it felt like things were so much in the air at the time with fundraising, our jobs at Trinity, and the open-ended possibility of potentially going back overseas, but little did we know that God was going to give us 4 little children in the span of 3 years. When Judah and Ezra came, it was definitely a major reset for us. Reagan and I needed to take on new roles, responsibilities as parents, and the new transition was definitely daunting. God did provide many friends and family to come with us to help, but when Joy and Evie came along, it was very clear, to me at least, that overseas missions would need to be placed on pause for now. And considering where our family's at with my schooling, which still need to be finished, it would just need to become first in the next season. So the next logical step was to explore the possibility of other ministries. My longtime mentor, as you guys already know, Eric Kapoor at Trinity, in 2022 gave me an opportunity to consider 2 possibilities. And that was either to consider church planting or RUF International. And he was excited about both. But the one that we actually honed in after many conversations was RUF International. We felt that it was a good fit. And I also wanted to participate in something that I knew that Reagan would be passionate about, since she's been telling me to consider it for years, and it felt like a good fit to finally explore it, especially since our heart still desired to carry out missions to oversee individuals, international folks, but also the last couple of years that God gave us was also an opportunity to reach the foreigners here that are coming to the States through refugee resettlement. So, compassion for the foreigner. Looking back 5 years, the Lord has certainly been slowly laying the groundwork for us to consider international ministry. It's actually in Bangkok where I first really felt this tug, meeting friends like Yasuko, Mamiko, Minheen, Man, and many more friends that were from overseas helped transform my view of what it looked like to do international ministry. These friends, though they're not Christian, taught me a lot about their respective cultures. They gave me insights into their struggles as a foreigner. And it was also here that I had the opportunity to disciple friends by inviting them to do outreach with me. Even though my folks came to the U.S. as a refugee and an immigrant, I did not grasp the gravity of what it meant until I came to a land where I did not understand the language, I did not understand the culture, and I was tasked with the responsibility of adapting in order to help support the church plant. And if there's one word that I could sum up this experience, it would be the word humbling. The isolation, the anxiety, the experience that you often receive when you're a foreigner, you don't really understand that until you live it. And so as Reagan and I continue to really care for these people, we really empathize with them. And we also saw the potential of what could happen should they come to know God. How did we get a vision for international students? Now, in the scope of what it means to be a foreigner, a subgrouping of that focus would be international students. Not only are they foreigners, they're foreigners that have accomplished so much in order to make it to the U.S. They either come from influence or have earned their way to become influential. And our desire to serve international students specifically came a little bit later, and for me it was in Bangkok as well. I had the sweet opportunity to get to know 2 friends who became Christians in the U.S. One was a director who is currently a director of the master's program in hospitality management, and he's at Bangkok University. And this was a man that I got to disciple on a weekly basis, just to talk about the Bible and learn. And my other one was my preaching translator, who is currently the chairman of the executive committee of the SIAM Bioscience Group. And what's great is that both men came to faith in college in the U.S., one at MIT and the other at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville. And it was after their finishing of their college degree that they returned to Thailand to pursue their careers in the service of the country. And as a missionary, I think what's interesting is that I was on the receiving end of someone else's work. And not only that, but you just get to witness the power of what happens when students who come to the US to study, thinking that that's the only thing that they'll learn, but instead they have a life-changing experience to encounter God, but also to really come back to their home country to serve, not just in the physical ways, but also in spiritual ways that not only transform economies, but the lives of those who yet don't know Christ.